Today I'd like to talk about quantum theory. You ever smelt a familiar smell and visualized that you were there? Or perhaps you ever had the need to feel a certain feeling regardless of any situation? And if you answer yes to either of these questions, then you have been a part of the quantum theory. The quantum theory is basically the theory that anything is possible if we can learn to open our minds. And there's been multiple publications validating this theory, and a lot of it all speculation, but credible witnesses and scientists nonetheless. And I will try to convince that what we see and believe is reality may not be as cut and dry as it's made out to be. See, we as people only believe that what we think to be true due to what we're told and what we can and cannot accept. What we cannot accept, we just don't believe. According to David Dutch, when we improve our knowledge about the physical reality, sometimes improve our knowledge at the same time with the abstract realms of logic. There are two more basic principles of quantum theory that I'll go over, and that is superposition and chemical addiction. Superposition is based upon the idea that there's an infinite number of planes that we exist on at all times at the same time, and that it's possible for an object to exist in two places simultaneously. Jeffrey Barrett says that a physical system will continue to behave as a superposition as long as no one observes it. And that sounds kind of contradictory because it's saying that it's going to do it until we look at it. And basically that is what it's saying. But there have been accounts of an electron in two places at the same time under photography. Now, back to the smells. Now, when you smelt that smell, say, fresh baked cookies, and you visualized yourself in another place, then you were there, actually, according to this theory, if only for a brief second. But you were there and where you're at the same time. Sort of like a deja vu feeling, I'd say. Or when you have a special memory and you visualize yourself there and you can smell and feel everything as if you were there, then technically you were. And that's hard to believe, and we accept it only as a memory because that's what we've been told. But this theory challenges that and say you were there. See, vivid memories and feelings that we feel run a lot deeper than we think because that's just what we're told, what we know. With the idea of superplacement, we do exist in all planes and at all times, whether we choose to believe it or not. According to John, Jersey, and Renat, when an electron travels from point A to point B in the absence of any external forces, it will not take the straight line from A to B, but it will take all routes simultaneously, meaning it is in every place at the same time. And I know that's a hard concept to wrap your mind around, but if you stop and think about it, it's not so radical. The second point, chemical addiction. It's the idea that we're susceptible to becoming addicted to things that we feel, our emotions, whether it be anger, sadness, jealousy. Certain people have to feel these things. They have to in order to feel normal. Because our feelings are dictated by chemicals in our brains, meaning that each feeling has a certain chemical basis, peptides and proteins. And the receptors in the brain eventually become accustomed to the certain chemical makeups of the feelings. Anger has a different makeup than sadness. So therefore, certain people have to have certain wants. Because just as drugs use receptors in our brain to make us feel a certain way, and we can become addicted to that feeling, that high or low, so too can the emotions that we feel use the same receptors, become an addiction, and we have to feel it. And some people can't believe that, saying, "Oh no, that's just how I feel. That's how woe is me." or I just get angry a lot. That's not the case. The case is that those people are addicted to what they feel. But all's not lost, because Dennis Harvey says we can escape these personal prisons through fundamental liberating shifts in perception, or when I read that, I think the quantum theory. Just to open your mind, get broader, and then it's easier to accept these things. You don't allow the world to tell you how things should be seen. We overcome boundaries set in place by perception if we only allow ourselves to accept the unacceptable. I propose that all things exist on multiple planes, and therefore all possibilities happen at once. It is possible to exist in more than one location at a given time. And also believe that we can and do become addicted to the chemical needs that a certain emotion gives us. Joseph Dispenza says feeding the brain with new information is the best way to open up new possibilities. And the world is full of unseen possibilities, hidden only by our rejection of them. We are the ones who should choose to see what we see. Always keep an open mind and remember that the truth is out.